Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we're going to be talking about that damn Nick Wright. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, as you guys know, Nick Wright is one of the biggest supporters of LeBron James, and what that means is that he pretty much sees every occurrence that takes place in the NBA through the prism of how does this affect or how does this benefit LeBron James, right? That's essentially what Nick Wright does. And once again, he is struck again. As you guys know, we've had some surprising results in the playoffs, one in particular between the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Going into the playoffs, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, won something like 66 games, had the best record in the Eastern Conference, I believe the best record in the league. So going into the playoffs, looking at the combination of talent that they had with Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Garland, and others, one easily surmised that this team most likely will go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But then they got to the second round. They started coming across some injuries. And frankly, a lot of people didn't pay much attention to the Indiana Pacers. And the Pacers ended up shocking them and beating them, right? Beat them fair and square. And at the end of it, people like Donovan Mitchell were talking, people are going to say this, people are going to say that, we need to come back motivated, blah, 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 blah. So Nick Wright then decides, like the vulture he is, sitting on top of this the damn tree watching. He goes, this would be an opportunistic moment to try to see how we can inject LeBron James into this thing in a way where LeBron James can come out of this thing victoriously. So as you guys know, the Lakers got bounced in the first round, not in 6, not in 7, but in 5, right? In 5. And immediately after that, LeBron fans kick into hyperdrive mode where it's like, okay, LeBron has lost. What's next? How do we get him another chance? These guys are very, very desperate for a chance. LeBron ain't winning no more championships, guys. It's over. He's had, 22 years to try. It's over. It's over. Y'all are still hoping and wishing it's over. So we know what went down in LA. There are various stories going on there in LA. Look at it. Lakers going to do this. Lakers going to do that. And then we were talking about potential alternate destinations for LeBron. Now, I'm one of the people that said I think it's time for LeBron James to leave the Lakers. I think he's done enough. We've seen enough. Just move on. Go to another franchise. Go stink it up. Go destroy it. Just go leave your mark on it. But it's enough. You've done enough damage to the Los Angeles Lakers, the brand. It's enough. Like, I personally want him to leave. I'm not saying LeBron James should retire, but I'm saying he needs to leave the Lakers. Like, enough is enough. Like, enough is enough. So Nick Wright decides to step to the lectern and throw out this ingenious idea where Nick goes, you know what, guys, Wiles, Brew, I think LeBron James should go back to Cleveland. But that ain't even the best part. Wait till you hear the narratives that Nick Wright attached to this suggestion of why LeBron James should consider going to Cleveland. But before we even get into what Nick Wright had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60-plus states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I am super excited about this Game 2 matchup between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for upfront. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is we're going to play exactly what Nick Wright had to say about LeBron potentially going to Cleveland. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Nick right here.
I want to talk about Cleveland for a second. Because you can't run it back. You can't expect, it to be different.
you do have right now a massive opening in the Eastern Conference because Giannis might be on the move, and Tatum, sadly, we now know what we feared yesterday, which is torn Achilles, which means probably means next year's gone. And
even if New York were even to win the championship, nobody's looking at them like, well, we can't beat them.
Right, and I give New York a ton of credit, but it's still, one team you're talking about in the East as opposed to 10 in the West.
Absolutely.
And their starting small forward, much like their previous starting small forward when they were down 3-1, sent a group text along the lines of, if you don't think we can do it, don't get on the plane. Now, the previous small forward responded to that by himself having the greatest 3-game stretch in the history of the league. This small forward responded to it by going 0 for 9 and scoring 0 points. Sorry, Max Strus. It is what it is.
The thought was in the right. Your heart was in the right.
Right. Yeah. So which I say this. Just go home, Bron.
I mean, it's interesting.
It's from the area. It's year 23. No one can say he's front running. They haven't, in the entirety that the Cavs have existed, they've never been past round 2. Except for when he's been there and they've lived in the finals. There was a lot of, chatter this year. Is this the best Cavs team ever? Is this the most fun Cavs season ever? How fun is it now? How fun was, and by the way, it happened like this. They won their first round series by more points than any team in the history of the league.
They looked like they were going to win the East.
And Donovan, who made, there you go, who made, I think, even in defeat, a compelling club superstar case, is now on this very weird streak of every year he's been in the league, he's been in the playoffs, and every year it's ended before the conference finals. It can only happen if Bron is willing to play for close to nothing. But man,
Cleveland can't even trade.
No,
they can't aggregate.
No, so it would really just have to be him being like, you know what? I did my job in LA. I brought them a championship and helped them get the player that they then used to get the next. The next iteration of Laker basketball. No one can say I gave him 7 years, more than I think anyone realistically expected. And I think as great as Luka is, I think Bron has a better chance of winning a championship playing with the Cavs. Not because the Cavs would necessarily be better, but because they would have to win 2 tough rounds in the playoffs, the conference finals and the NBA finals. And the Lakers, the West is just so deep and so hard.
Look, if LeBron went back there, I don't see this happening. I don't see LeBron going for the minimum. I don't see him leaving the Lakers. But if it did, and they didn't have to lose Mobley, if the Cavs could aggregate players and trade, say, Garland and Mobley for LeBron, I wouldn't do that.
No,
I would not do that.
No, because he's
the
41.
Lakers, I would do that.
Of course.
That'd be great.
No, but he's 40.
Luka.
I'm talking about LeBron opting out and signing there.
They would be easily, to me, the favorite in the East.
Yeah.
Easily.
So you heard what Nick Wright had to say. Nick Wright is saying that given that the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers didn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, LeBron should essentially go to Cleveland to save them and take them back to where they used to be when he was there. Now, a quick aside. Nick, LeBron James has been in LA for 8 good years. If LeBron is as good as you say he is, why is it that only in those 8 years he was only able to go to the finals 1 time? But in the Eastern Conference, he was able to go pretty much every single year. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Let me explain it to you. The West is harder. Just say you want LeBron to run back to the janky East and go try to find a way to get past one of those teams. That's why. If LeBron stays in the West, he's never going to the finals. It's never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. He's not getting past OKC. He's not getting past Denver. He's not getting past Minnesota and whoever else. He ain't getting past those teams. So Nick is like, just tuck your tail between your legs, go to the East. So essentially what Nick is saying is, imagine if LeBron goes to Cleveland. Cleveland somehow manages to break through. And let's just say they just get to the finals, but they don't win it. Nick Wright can then stand up and say, you see, LeBron James does something that Michael Jordan simply could not do, which is lead a team, because that's what he's going to say, lead a team to the finals. Then all of a sudden the narrative is going to be what LeBron can teach Donovan Mitchell, how he can lead them, and then before you know it, the franchise is going to go right back into the toilet. That's exactly what it's going to be. They're going to go right back into the dumpster. I've even heard people say, oh, LeBron should go to Dallas. He should go to Dallas. It's like LeBron should go home. How about that? How about LeBron James goes home? How about he goes home? How about somebody else get a crack at it? So this is what Nick Wright is trying to do. He's trying to like, okay, maybe we can, do this and do that and get LeBron out there, and then we can do that, and then blah, 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 blah. That's what they're trying to do. Create more narratives. All for the benefit. It's not even about Cleveland. It's all about what can LeBron James do and how can he benefit from this, regardless of how it impacts everybody. And I can almost guarantee you, if LeBron were to go to Cleveland, the next thing you'll hear is he doesn't have enough help if they don't win. Imagine the team that went to the end, they'll say, oh, when LeBron wasn't there, they were playing without pressure. But now when LeBron comes, expectations, it comes with, that's the whole, we all know the playbook. We all know the playbook by these Vipers. We all know it. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.